Good evening, everyone. It's me, Jordan Thomas. I'm reporting live from Linden. I'm frankly very frustrated with the Mets right now, as they suffered another loss where the bullpen gave up the lead again in Cincinnati, a chance to win their first series of the year, and they just flat out blow it. Now that dropped the Mets to 2-6 on the year. When frankly, right now they could have 5 wins by now, but the bullpen failed to hold on to the lead late. The first game, the Mets offense just couldn't get it going, mastering a grand total of 1 hit the whole game, and they lost 3-1. Katana gave us a decent outing, 3 earned runs and 4 2/3. Not great, but at least it gave us a chance. And then the second game of the year against the Brewers, we lose 7-6, but we were down 7-2. Severino could not command the baseball at all, giving up 11 hits and 5 innings. 11 hits and 5 innings, 6 earned runs. That's just terrible. You're not going to win that much. That put us behind the A ball. Then we had to play catch up. And Beatty, even though he hit the pitch hit 3-run home run that cut it to 7-5, and then Pete Alonso hit a home run that cut it to 7-6. The point is, when your starters are not going deep and they're giving up that many runs, or the bullpen's giving up games, it's hard to win that many games. And the Mets I see a pattern that I don't like seeing from last year. So, and then the third game, we lost 4-1. The starter, Miguel, gave up like 4 runs and 4 2/3, something like that. We lost 4-1, and the offense just looked terrible. They look a shell of themselves. They couldn't hit, couldn't get runners on, couldn't, even when they got runners on, could not score a lick. And that's how we got swept that series against the Brewers. We couldn't even win one game on our own field. Then fast forward to the Tigers. We lose the first game of the series to them 5-0 in 10 innings. Sean Manaea pitched a great performance, gave us 6 wonderful innings, giving up 1 hit, no earned runs. That you can't pitch much better than. You can't ask for more. But the problem was the offense, once again, cannot score. Even when they get runners in scoring position, strikes out or ground into a double play. It is unacceptable at this point. The lack of adjustment from this team is what's frustrating to watch as a Met fan. And then, so they lose that game. In the 10th inning, the bullpen gives up the 5 runs in 10 innings, where the runner on second went nobody out. But you gave up 5 runs. The defense failed them too, making 2 errors on the play, where it should have been outs, but then they ended up giving up the 5 runs because of the errors after they gave up the 3-run home run. Then the second game, we blew a 3-0 lead, where Adrian Hauser pitched wonderfully. He gave up 1 run in 6 innings. 1 run in 6 innings. The Mets had a 3-0 lead, a 3-1 lead when he left. Then the bullpen gave it up. And Adam Ottavino, once again, strikes. He gives up a game-tying home run in the 8th inning, and that ties the game at 3. And then nobody else scores. In the 10th inning, nobody scores, even with the extra inning rule where the runner starts at second base. The Mets had an opportunity to win the game in the 10th inning, but they failed to even move the guy over at all. 3 guys struck out in a row. A chance to bunt there, and they flat out decide not to bunt. 3 guys strike out. I don't understand. Extra inning is a point where you could bunt the guy. You don't even need a base hit. You bunt the guy over, put it in play, move the guy over the third with 1 out. Then a sac fly, even if you don't get the hit, gets you the lead, gets you the winning run. But people don't execute the small ball. I don't know why, but it's a lost art in my eyes in baseball. So they gave up 3 runs in the top of the 11th to trail 6-3, and then Pete Alonso struck out with the game time with a chance to tie the game in 11th. So they lost 6-3 to drop 0-5. Then they finally got a win after being shut out most of the game and didn't get a hit until the 8th inning, which snapped their 13-inning streak of no hits from the Mets offense. Then the 9th inning, Pete Alonso hit a much-needed home run to tie the game. And then Tyrone Taylor hit a base hit down the line that finally gave us our first win of the year. Because it would have been a huge disaster if we would have went to Cincinnati with an 0-6 homestand. That would have been a huge disaster. That would have been terrible. And then we get to Cincinnati. We win the first game yesterday. It was a close ninth inning. Got scary, but Edwin Diaz was able to nail down that first save and give us 2 straight wins. And Jeff McNeil finally broke out a little bit and gave us a much-needed home run. Pete Alonso put the ball in play, and Lindor was able to hustle and beat it out to give the Mets the lead. And Francisco Lindor also hit a sac fly, who's been struggling. He's really struggling. Him and Nimmo are really struggling on the top of that lineup. And they're not getting it done. But the Mets were able to win 3-2. Then finally, today, the second game of the series at Cincinnati, a chance to win the series. And the Mets were 5-2 going into the 7th inning. The offense finally struck. They finally scored. And the bullpen comes up and gives it all up. The Ramirez in the 8th inning, that was a disaster. Gave up 5 runs to the Cincinnati Reds, and Cincinnati ended up beating the Mets 9-6, and the Mets ended up blowing the game. A chance to win the series, take the first 2 games, and go for the sweep tomorrow, but they blow it, and now they can only win the series tomorrow because the bullpen could not hold the lead. And this is what's frustrating to be a Met fan, because they just continue to show this futility, as whether the hitting is not there some days, or the bullpen gives up runs, or the starters can't go deep enough, can't even go 5 innings. Like, what are we paying these guys for if they can't go 5 innings? This is what's frustrating about the Mets. But tomorrow, they need to win that game tomorrow before they go to Atlanta. Win the series. It will be important. Shamanaya pitches tomorrow against the Reds, last game of that series. But I just want to say thank you, everyone, for listening to me. It is me, Jordan Thomas, saying good night, everyone. Have a good one.